Hello, Warrior Women. Karen McCoy here, body transformation expert for women over 40. And let's get right to the point. What is in the way of your weight loss success? Now, there's weight loss and then there's sustainable weight loss for years to come. So they're two very different creatures. First of all, how you get there is how you stay there. Let's remember that. So you can't just do a diet where you're eating differently and cutting calories and then once you lose the weight, what happens is we slowly go back into our old habits again. And this is where there's been no real change. So it really is about how you lose the weight is how you need to eat for that moment forward. Ask any woman who's lost a lot of weight, and she will always say, I had to learn to make lifestyle changes. So that's the first thing. But the second thing I want to look at is beyond the food and the exercise piece. And this is the unconscious piece. So as an empowerment coach, this is really where I dig in with my clients, where we start looking at self-limiting beliefs and our patterns and conditioning that's keeping us stuck. So we all have the unconscious piece of us, and this is where fear sits. Now, we are born with fear because it's a natural part of our survival. We have to know that that tiger is dangerous and we have to run from the tiger. So it is a survival mechanism. But what happens is the fear starts to own us, but it's unconscious. So I want to go over the 5 big fears that I look at as an empowerment coach that I tend to walk my women through, but we have to make the unconscious conscious. Okay. So the 5 fears, just take pen to paper and see which ones resonate with you. First of all, there's a fear of success. Okay. So obviously, this is a big one for women who have dieted a lot and they've lost the weight, but it comes back. They lost the weight and it comes back. Or they try to go to the gym to get a body transformation and they do good for a while, they fall away. They do good for a while, they fall away. So they're in this loop, the rinse and repeat, right? And so this fear of failure naturally shows up every time they go to step in again because the brain is saying to itself, "Oh, I don't know, honey, you failed doing this before. You might fail again." And with enough failed attempts, the the body and the brain start to shut down. They start to get wise and they don't want to go into that danger zone. They don't want to go into that repeated pattern where they feel really yucky again. And so this is where women will stop trying because they don't want to feel the shame and the guilt and the frustration and the letdown from possibly yet another failure. And I've seen this in women who have been trying to do weight loss, trying to change their body composition, and they've been doing it for years, or they've been challenged with their food and they've been trying to diet and lose the weight for years. And this failure mechanism gets more deeply embedded in their brains. And eventually they just don't want to try anymore. And this is where they give up. So the fear of failure is a real one for sure. There's also the fear of success. Now, this one is a little bit more unconscious, meaning every woman says, well, why wouldn't I want to succeed and have a great physique and lose the weight and feel great and look great? And that's very true, but that's coming from the brain, right? And so the fear of success is really a feeling around who am I if I'm going to be lean and sexy and strong? Who am I if I'm known as the bigger woman in the family and suddenly that changes? They don't often believe that they deserve the success as well. And so a fear of success can really stand in the way of some women. And some women recognize it, a lot don't though. And because we always think, well, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I want success? So that is the second fear. The third fear is, what do I have to let go of? And so this is always where we have to compromise. We don't get to eat whatever we want. If I did, I would be very big because I love food. But we have to compromise and we have to put parameters around our portions, our meals, what we do late at night, what we do on weekends, what we do on holidays, perhaps. And so there's that fear of, well, I don't want to let anything go because I like how I live, or I don't want to not snack with Netflix every night because it's my comfort zone. I don't want to go on holidays and have to watch what I'm eating because I just want to relax with everything. So that fear of what you have to let go of, the compromises that you have to make, the changes in food, maybe trimming down or stopping alcohol, getting the sugar out, whatever it happens to be, we're stepping outside the comfort zone. And some women are up for it, a lot of women, and their psyches are not. And that is where we want change, but we don't want anything to change in order for us to change. So it's a little bit like a catch-22. The fourth fear is, what will others think of me? So, most women say, I don't care what others people think about my journey. But when we dig under the sheets a little bit, what occurs is an understanding that we might challenge our relationship with our partner. We might challenge our family and friends. They might feel challenged, and we unconsciously take that on because we are fixers. We often run by mother or daughter guilt. And so these are the archetypes that kind of sit in our psyche, actually, for a lot of women. And it can be a fear of challenging, say, a marriage where one partner begins on a health journey and the other partner, if they're not supportive, they can undercut. And unfortunately, I've seen this more than I like to say. Other females, other friends, you start to hear things like, oh, you're no fun anymore, or you're getting too skinny, or all of these things. And so those are they're conflicts. They're conflicting to us, and we are peacekeepers. Women are peacekeepers for the most part. So a lot of times we'll dim our light or slow down or halt our progress in order to keep others comfortable. So this is when I'm working with a woman, she's coming in new to work with me. I always ask about her partner. Does your partner know that this is something that's important to you? Does he or she know that you're on the call with me? What do they think? I need to get a feel for her environment and for who she's sharing her life with, because it will impact them. And there's a lot of supportive spouses. I've even had spouses come on the phone with me, which is great when we do an intake call, just to see if the program is a fit. And they're very supportive. But I have seen where other spouses undercut. And it's really, really sad. But this is where women can feel any kind of change might challenge a relationship, and they might not go there just to keep the peace. And the fifth fear is the fear of being unworthy. And so this is where women will unconsciously, even consciously, say to themselves, well, I don't think I'm worthy enough to put myself first. I'm not worthy enough to look after my own needs. It's selfish of me. This is the female archetype of the savior and the fixer, and we are here to take care of everybody else. But it must get to a point where we take care of self first. It does not mean we put ourselves first above everybody else. But what we do is we make sure we're in line with everybody else and we're all equal at the starting line. So women feel unworthy of their success, unworthy of enjoying and having a great body, and aging well and being beautiful and being seen. So that unworthiness, unfortunately, can last a lifetime, and that is it's quite prominent, but it's a pretty easy fix once we start changing that mindset and doing a cognitive restructuring, and we rewire the brain with what we do is called a beliefs detox. We call it getting the junk out. And it's an exercise. It's a lovely exercise. It's not hard. It's very freeing. So that's always the first thing we do when women come work with us, is we need to get that stuff out, kick it to the curb, and then we need to filter in powerful mantras, meditations, wording, belief systems, and expand that self-identity so that women now have a higher plateau to work from and they see themselves differently. So those are the 5 fears. If any of those resonate with you, just put pen to paper. So there's, again, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of what we have to give up, the fear of what others may think of us or of the process, and the fear of being worthy, not being worthy of it. And then just see what comes up for you because we can't change what's unconscious. And once we start looking at it, it becomes conscious, and then we can change what we can see. So I hope that helps to illuminate a few things because so many women are in a repeated loop, the rinse and return of try, fail, try, fail. But it's all this unconscious programming because our belief system runs the show, but it's 90%, 90 to 95% unconscious, but that creates our reality. So we have to make the unconscious conscious. We need to own it and then we can change it. And that's the deeper work of the coaching process that I do with my clients. All right, you guys, be well and please pop your comments or questions down below. Take care.